it's Tuesday, TV Tuesday, and I think there's no better time than right now to get into it, like immediately. Are you ready?
Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna play this. I'm gonna play the song.
Brought to you by YouTube.
The Natural Habitat Podcast. The Natural Habitat Podcast. The Natural Habitat Podcast.
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice. You fool me once, I can't get fooled again. That's right. George Bush, one of the greatest presidents of all time, said that, and I just said it again.
Did you say one of the greatest?
Yeah, I did not mean
What the hell
that.
is wrong with you?
It was trying to be like a comical thing, and then I immediately regretted it when
One
it
of the
came out of
greatest.
my mouth. One of the
One of the
greatest
greatest ever.
presidents of all time of America.
Are you talking about W? Or
W. He was the one that said that. He said, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice. If you fool me once, I can't get fooled again. That's what he says, because he didn't remember how it went. So,
what a guy.
so
What
it
a guy.
turned into our slogan here at the Natural Habitat Podcast. If you're a regular listener, you know that we start every single show that way. So thank you for joining us. My name is Mikey Booyah.
My name is fucking. Damn it! I wish I was more prepared for this shit.
More prepared to say
I
your
would've,
name.
I
You
would've,
wish that
picked
you
a
were
good-
more prepared to say your name.
Yeah, well, I was gonna pick like a good character's name or something, and then I like totally forgot all their names.
You're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to say your name every time.
No, that's
And for
not
some
how it
reason
is.
you don't. You say
I've
something
never heard of
else.
that. I've
It's-
never heard of that.
You always pronounce it different.
Why is that a thing? Who says you have to say your name?
Well,
Maybe.
because then people are familiar with you when they come back next time. They're like, oh, yeah, this is that guy. Because then when they go, I was listening to this podcast with Mikey Booyah and Fred Flagstone.
They know this voice.
Whoa, you don't got to get so close to me, man. All right?
I'm not sure what to do with my hand.
Yeah, just put them down. Just put one up above your head and the other one down. Yes, you have a question?
No,
You were raising your hand.
you tricked me.
I know. I was fucking quick. All right. If YES spells yes.
What does EYES spell?
I fucking
ES?
Mhm.
AS?
Yep. It's it. Nobody
So
knows.
funny.
Nobody
So-
knows. It's some sort of different language, I
Yeah.
think.
It's crazy, right? There's no such thing. EYES.
Yeah.
ES?
That's not English. You can't just do that.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently I was told that it spells eyes.
Yeah.
But I think that
Good looking out, Pat, and that.
I ran that by
Right answer.
I ran that by my girlfriend. Our old receptionist, Plank, she actually left because she didn't want to have any sort of inter-office relations or something like that. I don't even know she was gone. She's, boom, bailed. And,
Monica Blank.
yeah, because she's been at my house, and she changed her name to Michelle. That's really close, actually. And I asked her that question the other day. If YES spells yes, then what does EYES spell? She didn't know. She was like, and then I said eyes, and then she was like, oh yeah, I fell for it too. But I think it has something to do with like whoever's asking you the question in that instance, in that moment, they are like the authoritative figure because they're asking you a question and you have to provide them an answer. You know what I mean? No matter what that person is, it just, goes back to this like weird thing. And if someone puts something,
Like a primal thing.
yeah, and if someone puts something in your head, they go, YES spells yes. And the guy
just
who's
a trick
asking you the
question.
question says yes, then it kind of feeds that into your head. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like they're insinuating that it rhymes.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, it's a setup question.
I think, yeah, and I think it has something to do with the way that you say yes. Because every time that I've heard it and I've recited it, it's like, if YES spells yes. And it's almost like a hypnotized, like you got the power in that yes. Like you're like an evangelicist, like
EYES spells ES.
yeah, like you're like a pastor.
Well, what words ever start out with E and actually sound like E. None, really. So it's like, I don't know why it tricks your brain or why it makes you think that or anybody think that. You know what I'm saying? Because like there's no word. Eel maybe is the only word that starts off with the E that makes an E sound.
What about, I just said evangelicus. How do I say it? I said it wrong. I just said it right.
Yeah, but I mean
earlier.
like, yeah, it's okay. So there's very few, you know what I mean? But for the most part.
Yeah, but you're right. It's a little obscure one.
Yeah.
And
Weird. The whole scenario is weird. It's just like, it's like a setup question for sure. I don't know how. It's like the way that we learned our English has us trained a certain way, you know, like little tricks to like I before E's and like all these things, you know, little rules to help you remember things. I think kind of like, you know, has you trained a certain way.
Yeah.
And then when you like trip up the system and do it a different way that you're not used to, you don't recognize it the same way right away. You know, it's like it's like going down a track and then all of a sudden jumping to the next track or something and not fucking being familiar with that track or something. You know, it's weird. And
it's almost like you catch these patterns. So if something happens a certain way in the word, then you are used to it happening that way. So that's what you see or that's what you hear in your mind. Just like seeing shapes in clouds. That's what some dude from NASA said, that all the shit on Mars, like all the shit from the rovers that look like pyramids and openings and doorways and statue heads and all this shit, that's all, I forget what it's called, but it's some sort of illusion with your eyes where you make something that looks familiar to you.
Yeah, there's another one where you see faces also in everything. Yeah. Like if you look at a car from the front with two headlights and a bumper, you say it looks like a face. It's like associate things with faces.
That's just from Herbie. That's all that is.
Thing.
But it's
in everything, like a house or anything. Anything could look like a face.
Yeah, I see it in houses a lot. I see faces everywhere. Is that a disease?
Yep.
There's a face looking at me right now. This computer, I got two screens and they're like giant eyes.
Nice.
Have you been watching the new Ancient Aliens?
Have I been seeing?
Have you been seeing aliens up there in the sky?
All the time.
The new fucking Ancient Aliens is crazy, and they just had a new episode the other day, and it was about Mars. It is. Yeah, it was it was about Mars. You know it. And it was all about like humans going to Mars and how we will be the aliens on Mars and how we're going to be like the extraterrestrials. And then it was showing all of these like pictures from the rovers, and there was one picture that the Curiosity rover got. The camera was looking down at the rover so that they could do like maintenance and shit. And it looks like there's someone like leaned over the rover working on it. And you could see they have like a pack on or like a vest. And then like you could see their hair. They're not wearing a helmet. And it totally looks like a shadow of a person on Mars. And there's all this shit. And they're talking about how like Martians could have came to Earth because there's this line of pyramids that lines up with a constellation, and we have a same set of pyramids in Mexico that lines up with the same constellation. So they think that we're going to go to Mars, start exploring it, find all these like statues, pyramids, all these crazy ancient things that we have here on Earth, and like make the connection and find out our past. You know what I mean? That we might have all been Martians in the first place. Ancient Aliens always does this thing halfway through where they lose me.
Yeah, they try to make too big connections.
Yeah.
If that was the scenario, it wouldn't be Mars. It would be fucking Nibiru.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's where the shit's supposed to be from. That's where the Anunnakis are from. That's where everything's supposed to be from. It's supposed to be from Nibiru.
Yeah.
Or whatever, the fucking 12th planet or whatever. So it's supposed to be they're the ones that fucking crashed into us. Or whatever. And the story, it's like they crashed into us and then came here and fucking...
And the giants came and fucking
told us it's going to happen again or whatever in a certain amount of time.
Yeah, and they're like harvesting people or something like that. They're harvesting women.
Gold. Give us all your gold because we need it to fix our atmosphere.
Yep. I remember my cousin used to get crazy with that shit when we were kids. And when we were like... It
is crazy, but I mean, like, you never know, right? If there was some type of thing like that... And it was on a planet that only orbits every fucking however many...
Which they just recently proved that there is that planet.
Yeah, or something close to it,
Yeah.
similar to it.
So something like that exists, which just fucking solidified all of these crazy tweakers' claims. Because back when me and my cousin were like just super high on meth, he used to just go crazy about Planet X and Nibiru and all this shit, and all about the giant alien people that were like fucking gonna come, and like when they come around, they like jump over to the planet or fucking whatever and like come and check on us. And I never bought into it, but he got like crazy with it. And then when they just released the news that that planet exists, he fucking like got all like, see, you fucking see, I told you, you thought I was crazy. And it's like, no, I still think you're crazy, man. And like that could be possible. You never know. But just to say, like, he doesn't have a job and like doesn't have any life panned out because he's waiting for this planet to come. Like, it's almost like a cult, almost like a cult type shit. You know what I mean?
It is. But you know, they're not necessarily wrong, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're obviously not right. They don't know shit. They're just being dramatic and trying to create this fucking. They're trying to make you think, you know, and that's the right thing.
Yeah.
But also, all the stories line up. You know what I'm saying? As far as like the religious and all the different religions around the world, all their stories line up to the same story. And the same story is fucking somebody visiting from somewhere else and dropping fucking bars. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers come here and are just spitting bars, and then all of a sudden everybody's hooked, and it's like, holy shit, Tupac's back. You know what I'm saying? Like, seriously though, and that's how it happened. You know, somebody came here and fucking motherfuckers mistakenly say it was God, or like, you know, I agree with like if you see something flying in the sky and you don't know how to say a motherfucking spaceship, all you have is chariots at the time you live, you're going to say flying chariot. If it's a fucking whatever, however you're going to explain it, it's just going to be whatever your rationale is from that time period. You know what I'm saying? It's like you only have what you have. In some cases, it was horses, flying horses in the sky, whatever, because that's the only thing they had as a vehicle. They didn't have any vehicles, you know what I mean? It's like people will explain it however rationally they can explain it with whatever they have afforded to them at the time, whatever tools or whatever, you know, the only fucking tool of knowledge they had that time was like I said, like a horse or a chariot or something simple along those lines that is fucking rationale, you know what I'm saying? An easy way for them to understand, like, or try to explain what is really fucking happening. You know, it's like we talk about with the Greeks and all that, all their gods and everything, about, you know, how they had a different one for every different weather or every different thing, you know, and it's like just so they could try to explain something. And
it's like, it's easy to...
every fucking explanation was from the same exact story. All religions line up to the same story. There's no difference.
Yeah. And it's easy to... It's easy to like look back and see what people had at the time and how people were living, but it's extremely difficult to look back and see how people looked at shit, like how the like general consensus thought about things, and you know how educated they were, the time they were living in. It's not like how, you know, they wouldn't just be like, oh, I don't know, I'm gonna Google that later. Like, they would never think that, and that's just one of a million things that aren't gonna go through their head when something happens. So that's where a lot of shit gets misinterpreted. And people fucking go like crazy with it.
That video we just watched yesterday of the lady on the walk. She's out hiking and the fucking mountain lion came running up. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Okay, look at her reaction to that. That is simple. That's exactly what would have happened if a motherfucker would have seen something falling out of the sky. You would have been like, you would have seen it, and you would have been like, uh-oh. What? Holy shit, Jay. You know what I'm saying? It would have been like, you would have freaked the fuck out a little bit. You would have been taken back. And you would have fucking tried to like rationalize it in your mind. You know what I'm saying? And that's really like, that's how every human works. I don't give a fuck what time period you're from. You know what I'm saying? Or what you're, you know, that's how people work. You're going to see something that scares you. You're going to be taken back by it. You're not going to know what to do. You're going to have to decipher what to do. You're going to fight or flight. You know what I mean? It's human nature. It's proven. Yep. So it's like, what are you going to do? You're going to try to explain that shit. You're going to be like, holy shit, Jay, I'm out of here. Yeah. That was Jeebus, or that was fucking whatever. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you want to call it. That was fucking horse flying. That was fucking. You know what I'm saying? People are gonna look at you like you're crazy no matter what. You know what I mean? No matter what you say or how you try to explain it, people are gonna be like, this motherfucker's crazy. Yep. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how it works, you know? And unless everybody's seen it at the same time, which is, like, had to be the case to start these religions. Motherfuckers had to see it. A lot of people had to see it to be able to, for it to be inscribed in fucking stone a million years later, you know? I mean, like.
Yeah, it's a trip, man. I say we smoke to that.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's get high.
Okay, that was the freak part of the episode. Geeks is coming up next.
Yeah, we're gonna fucking geek out on TV. All right, everybody out there, flick your bics, snap your pics, and hashtag them NHP Smoke Sesh.
Yeah. Trans-dimensional beings, I wanna be 'em, I wanna see 'em. 2 ounces of psilocybin, let's call it my per diem. My pics stay getting liked up, but yo BM, I hope you see 'em. She been praying for the D, can't get the DM, it's 10 p.m. Your favorite rapper just copped another new chain, I pray it free him. I just hit me like 2 stains and I'm on my way to the VM. A's on my A game, why would I be him? I 2-3 him, dawg, like Jordan with the cool jump shot. Ooh, him, I Bruce Lee him. Striving to be like water, I'm inside the hypo gym. So much ancient text down here, I'm about to start a museum. Treat the trap like it's work, so I knew Kim. If an alien would've come down and take rap perform, would you recognize when you see him? Would you recognize when you see him? Would you recognize when you see him?
Yes, sir. Okay. So we did come here to talk about a TV show that we've been trying to talk about for, I don't know, like 6 months now. Since we were doing like James Franco, Seth Rogen stuff, and we were like, man, we got to do Freaks and Geeks. We got to do Freaks and Geeks. That's where it all started. We kept bringing it up all the time, and we were like, hey, we got to do this episode, and then it never happened. And then we decided to do it today, and we fucking
almost never happened.
Almost never happened. So let's get into it. Okay, so I think that I was going over this today. I was watching some audition tapes that I found on YouTube that were pretty good. It was interesting to see all these people. A lot of them, it was like their first film or their first show, and you know, or like one of their first. And Jason Segel's was really good. You can find it on YouTube. And the kid, I forget his name, but he was a young kid, and he played fucking Sam. That was his name. Sam. John Francis Daly, who I remember when I saw his face, I remember him from Waiting. That movie about everybody that works at the restaurant.
Yeah.
And he's the kid that like doesn't talk at all, the new kid.
He's also was in the TV show Bones. He played the fucking...
I never watched Bones.
Well, a lot of people do. That's why I'm mentioning it. All right, Dale.
Okay, yeah. I forgot other people were here.
Yeah, so, yeah, he played the fucking psychologist on Bones or whatever. He was young as shit.
Hey, I was just trying to say that I've never seen Bones. That's all. Cool, just trying to throw it out there, and then I was maybe you were gonna say, well, you should watch Bones. It's good, but instead you were like, it ain't about you, Mikey. It's about Bones. All right. Well, now we learn something new every day, and we learned that Joey's favorite show is Bones.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, but that kid's dope, and he did really bad in his audition. I watched his audition tape, and it was horrible. I don't know how they gave him the part, but it's like I feel like I could have done better.
He also was the only kid his real age on and off screen.
That's right, huh?
Yeah.
So he was
14
the same age
on screen and 14 in real life.
Same age as his character.
Yeah.
That's a trip. And everybody else was old, pretending to be young.
Yeah. Yeah. Fucking the sister was old as shit. She was 24. Playing a 16-year-old.
Who, the main girl? Lindsay?
Yeah, yeah.
She was hot too.
And then Neil and Bill and Ken were all 17, which was fucking Sam Levine, Martin Starr, and Seth Rogen. And then a couple other ones were 20 and 21. But for the most part, they were all pretty young. I mean, like, they were all... I guess what were they supposed to be? If he was supposed to be 14, how much older than them were they supposed to be? You know, like 2 years or whatever. So they were pretty close to their respective characters' ages, I guess.
Yeah, I want to say that all the older kids were all seniors. It was like their last year in high school, right?
Something like that.
Because it started being based around like, what are we going to do with our lives? And that usually happens in your senior year. Because you don't give a fuck about that when you're a junior. I wasn't even in school then at that point, so I didn't care, you know what I mean? But regular kids care when they're seniors. But, yeah, fucking, I think that the show was before its time. I mean, that's, like, obvious, because it got canceled after one season. Judd Apatow is one of the greatest directors of our time, like, with comedy and stoner comedy. All of his stuff is different. He makes things that appeal to... you know, single dudes. He makes things that appeal to women. He makes things that appeal to couples, to adults, to children, like, you know, teenagers, all these different walks of life. And all of his movies have that same, or projects rather, have that same feel. Like, almost like, you know, if you think of all of his movies, they almost have like a fuzzy feel to them. Like they feel old school in a way. Everybody wears retro clothes, and it just like has this certain feel to it. And I know that with this show, he made the camera crew make everything as drab as possible because he wanted it to be like through the eyes of a teenager in high school where life is pointless. And, you know, when you're at home, everything sucks. When you're at school, everything sucks.
Yeah.
And the brightest scenes were probably with them smoking. You know what I mean? When I look back at it, everything else was real dark and really weird. And there was one episode in particular that got pulled from NBC, and it was on like the DVD release that they put out, but they never released it on the air. And it was because it was about Kim Kelly, played by Busy Phillips. And I watched this interview with her earlier, and she was talking about how the episode was about her character and how she had like some trouble going on at home, some sort of domestic violence, possibly like a molesting thing with her stepdad. And
it didn't say either of those in the episode.
Yeah,
though.
it just implied it. And everything, like they had a conversation in the car, her and James Franco, about how it was bad at home. And I want to say it's on Netflix, right? It got released on the Netflix episode because I saw it. And they wouldn't air it on NBC just because of how things were at the time with censorship and everything. And it was right after that, maybe 5 years after that show, when shit started getting crazy. You could say shit on TV. You could start showing like asses, and, you know, Law and Order started, and then fucking people were getting murdered and kids were getting killed. And then it was no big deal. But that kind of pissed off executives, that episode. And the episode that got them canceled was called Chokin' and Token. So they were before their time, I think. I think that if
they... definitely, dude. This was the show that started everything, like we said, and it's for a reason, you know? And it almost didn't even happen. Yeah. So it's crazy. It's crazy that it happened at all. It was only one season. It's a freak of fucking nature, dude. It really is. It's like... All the actors we got from this was fucking insane, for one. Everybody on this shit is crazy respectable now. Is crazy fucking... Yeah. Like, all of them have had awesome careers. Most of them fucking careers have stuck by each other or been parallel to each other, you know? For the most part. Like, everybody super succeeded and became, like, all these fucking people that we go out and... watch everything they do now, you know? Yeah. Especially like Jason Segel and fucking Seth Rogen and all of these guys. Martin, you know, all of them, dude. They all did shit together still. They did fucking Knocked Up and like all these other movies together. They're all still doing stuff together, you know? It's like, it's cool that one guy could like start something like this, put together the right cast, and then all of a sudden these guys work together forever afterwards. It's like a miracle thing, like that never happens.
And
It's
Judd Apatow actually said in an interview that every time that he has an opportunity to use someone from the show, that he does it because it's his way of denying that the show got canceled. And every project that he that he gets somebody in from the show, he sees it as a continuation of their life. So if he sees a character that is like a character in the show, then he'll cast that person, whatever it takes, get them on there. And, he constantly is working with these people and having them work together.
He should do like a reunion for that show, like some type of maybe a movie where like all of a sudden everybody met up again later in life or something, and like go out to Vegas or something and party, or like
right
something crazy like that, like maybe everybody meets up, goes home to Michigan and meets up for their fucking 20-year high school reunion, and then all of a sudden everybody's like, fuck this, let's go to Vegas.
That'd be dope.
And then they all go to Vegas and party and like shit goes crazy or something like that. Could be an awesome movie, Judd Apatow, motherfucker.
Hell yeah. And then fucking only the first 10 minutes of it will take place at the school. And the rest
or not even at the school, just in the hometown or whatever,
Yep.
Back in Detroit or whatever it was, outside of Detroit.
I read that that they filmed the pilot in an actual high school. And then when the show got picked up, they had to recreate the high school, McKinley High, and probably rename it. And fucking, they had to recreate it as much as they could. And for the hallway, they only had like a T hallway that just went down and then broke off into two sections. And they had to like redesign it all the time to make it look like different parts of the school. And the funniest part is that when people would walk through, like extras and shit, when like class would be getting out and the hustle and bustle of, the hallways, which is a good amount of people walking through the hallways, when they would go down the hallway and around the corner, they all just had to pile up at the end of the corner because there was nowhere for them to go. There was like no doors down there, so everybody just like got all in the corner, all skinny and real close, out of range of the camera. So as soon as when you see people just kind of strolling along, right when they get around the corner, there's like just a giant pile of people that they have to climb into.
That's cool.
So it's dope that they worked with it, you know what I mean? And nowadays they could probably, if they did do that reunion, it would be really easy to do since all they had was that T hallway and an outside section, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
A little smoking section. So I have this video of Seth Rogen and James Franco reacting to a Freaks and Geeks game that you could play on YouTube. So they just kind of
play the game on YouTube.
Yeah, I think that's what they were saying, is that it's a game and you play it on YouTube. So we'll try to find it and put the link in the description so everybody can go play it. That'd be dope. I want to play it. But yeah, we can go ahead and smoke while we watch this.
On YouTube?
On YouTube.
You guys.
William McKinley High
School.
1980. It's in Michigan. Paul Feig.
This is the opening shot of the pilot. Nice.
Oh, two different games.
We should play the Freaks, obviously.
Screw the Geeks.
Lindsay's coming up.
Okay.
Walking through
There's
the
the
table.
Jocks. Remember that.
Hey, Daniel, it's you.
Oh.
Hey,
That
Lindsay.
doesn't look like me.
It kind of
We're
doesn't.
going to go into patio.
You mean the smoking patio?
Here we are.
It looks like me. You guys remember Lindsay?
Oh, there it is.
Hey, what's
there
up?
it is. That
Wow,
looks like
they
look
really
at you.
got me.
You got this job.
I heard you didn't sign up for the academic decathlon.
Oh, man.
But you're our best mathlete. She is. What should Lindsay
Okay.
do? Sign up to mathlete? Should she be a mathlete? Being
No.
a freak was a bad idea. Tell Millie to leave her alone. I think
Yes.
she should tell Millie to leave her alone.
Get out of here, Billy.
Millie, will you just get out of here? Leave me alone.
Oh, she's going to be bad.
I remember this. This was
Yeah,
so
it's
weird.
pretty close.
Yeah, this freaks go all the way. This is really close. You didn't make Jason Segel tall enough.
That mustache is so
Class.
creepy.
Right?
What's wrong, brain? Or Busy would always say that. Afraid of laying down on me and
She wasn't going to be a regular character.
No, but she was so good. Tell him
He looks
she
like he's
was
auditioning
screw it,
for
cut
Deadliest
class.
Catch or something.
Bad influences.
Okay.
Right? Yeah, he looks hella creepy. And it's weird that Seth Rogen doesn't smoke weed. Or no, James Franco doesn't smoke weed. Seth Rogen smokes hella weed. And James Franco looked like he was the one that was high in that video.
Yeah,
he would just
does
lean
have
back
high
and
eyes.
he's like,
Jim Brewer or
what's
something.
going on? What? And then Seth Rogen, who was probably super baked, was just like, yeah, I'm just a normal guy, just kind of chilling, relaxing, watching this game video. No big deal. I want to play that game now.
Yeah, let's do it.
I'm going to find that shit.
What's it called?
Freaks and Geeks is what it's called. Here,
Freaks and Geeks, the YouTube game?
See if we can find it. All right, I got it. Here it is. We're going to fire it up.
Here it is.
So Joey and I will play this game and react, since we were obviously on the show and can probably do a better job at remembering than they can, because they're like, old. William McKinley High School, Michigan, 1980. Oh shit. Okay. Nice little lovable intro.
Did it let you pick or did it pick
No,
for you?
it did. It picked for me. It didn't let me pick.
See,
It just fucking moved around. So this isn't really interactive, and this is bullshit, and I'm closing it. So maybe the
nice try, fuck boys.
maybe the interactive game is gone, and
The one we have isn't very interactive.
yeah, that wasn't interactive at all. Maybe it was only available for a certain amount of time. They took it down, and now they just have video of it, just a video of someone playing it, which is what the fuck. And it also seems like it was going down the same path that it was going down when they played it, which is lazy. Maybe they were just a video the whole time, and it's not interactive, and it's just tricking you to go and watch the video and see if you can click things.
Yeah.
Fuck that. I'm mad.
Yeah. Me too.
I'm mad at these people, whoever the hell they are.
Don't make us a game that we can't play.
I saw this thing online that was funny. I posted it on Facebook. I don't know if you saw it, but it was on this app Fiverr where you get anyone to do things for you for $5 online, like make videos, create logos, put a hat on your dick and take pictures of it. Well, there's this guy that wants a laugh track added to his comedy album
I saw that.
that he's going to be recording in studio, and he needs someone that knows comedy and knows where the laughs need to go. And it's like, there's so many things wrong with that. I had to put him on blast. And it's like, what the fuck, dude? Never mind. I'm not even going to, why are you not doing your comedy in front of people? Why don't you have people there laughing? If you can't make people laugh in real life, then you can't make people laugh on a CD.
Maybe.
He's trying to trick people into buying a CD, is what he's doing.
So what?
Because he's like, look, man, I can make way more selling CDs and pretending
Everybody
I'm a comic.
does that. All of them do that.
Yeah, you're right. But, busted.
Busted.
That's all I'm
Hell
trying to
yeah.
say. That's it.
Hell yeah.
Cool plays, bro.
Cool plays, bro. Hey, you know what else is cool plays, bro? Jesse Eisenberg fucking almost played Sam Weir on this show. And fucking Shia LaBeouf almost played Neil Schreiber.
Is
That was
Jesse
it.
Eisenberg?
I don't know how Shia LaBeouf would have been the little weird Jew kid.
No. But is Jesse Eisenberg the kid from Zombieland?
Yeah.
And like 30 minutes or less and shit like that?
Yeah. Yeah, that was a good one. I like that too.
Yeah, that's dope. That's every Pizza Man's movie.
Yeah, that was a good movie.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine Shia LaBeouf on that show. But then again, he did have that same kind of feel when he was a kid. He had the curly hair. He could have played like the whiny. I'm just gonna stop.
Well, the kid who did play Neil was the best one, I think. He was awesome.
Yeah, he schooled it. And that dude's still working today.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, it was Seth Rogen's debut, and he was you could tell he was like super young and very awkward in his audition tape. And he had this whole story about how he didn't have to worry about paying attention in school because he was going to be a farmer when he grew up, and he was going to like grow corn and have cows and then have a bunch of weed that he was growing underground. And then she was like, well, that's illegal. And he was like, well, yeah, but if anybody comes, then you just throw some dynamite in the hole and blow it up, and then you show them your corn. It's foolproof. Like, and it was good.
All
And like
right.
he had like everybody cracking up. It was fucking hella funny.
That's funny.
But yeah, man, it's crazy. I went through, and when they added it to Netflix, I went through and watched it,
Me
and
too.
it definitely is strong on the nostalgia meter.
For sure. Everything about it. It was just super time period. You know,
Yeah.
it was like it's like a piece of art. It's like definitely a period piece of art. You know what I mean? It's fucking awesome. It's all these are like little time machines that take us back, and this one was just like extra good at it. It really got it. You know, it was different than all other shows. It really did paint it from the kid's perspective, you know what I'm saying? And the shit that they were like dealing with trying to grow up, and it was pretty close to like hitting home because it was like right at the same time we were growing up.
Yep.
You know, 2002. What year was it? What year was this actually?
99.
99. Yeah. So yeah,
Yeah.
dude, that's when we were in high school.
And it's dope because another reason why I think we like it a lot is because it took place in Michigan, but it was shot in California.
Yeah, it's dope.
So it had that California backdrop. Mm-hmm. Said outside scenes were difficult to shoot. No, no palm trees were allowed to be seen. But if you look closely, you can see at least one.
What other? What you got? Some more clip?
No, I don't. But I do. There was something that I was gonna say. Oh yeah, the music. We talked about this before when we brought up Freaks and Geeks in the past, but the music on this show was crazy. If you watch the episodes, every single episode has, like, not including the intro song "Bad Reputation" by Joan Jett, but it has some sort of iconic rock song in it. You know what I mean? And something that's very, very expensive, and a lot of the budget for the show was spent on music. There was only 18 episodes, so what I just said was wrong. Well, I guess I said more than one, but there was 18 episodes, and it featured snippets of more than 120 songs.
Yeah, that's intense.
Yeah, which
Yeah, and that's, you're right, and that is a big thing that is important to us, or at least to like our taste in whatever TV or movies or whatever holds the most nostalgia for us is also music. You know, music always plays like the biggest part, and these guys played like the most classic songs at the right times, at the dramatic times, at the whatever, you know, everything
Yeah.
called for a time or a piece of music, and they really like, it was like Dazed and Confused, or like fucking, you know, like those type of movies where, you know, they just had all the right songs in the right places and shit.
Yep. And it's like, it's a bold move to make when you do shit like that, because a lot of it relies on the music. Because when you hear the music, it gives you this certain feel, and you're just like, like when a car pulls up and it's bumping like an iconic fucking Whitesnake song, then you're all about it. But if it's playing some song you never heard of that's just a stereotypical rock song, you're like, who the fuck's this guy? Who the fuck does this guy think he is? You know what I mean? He doesn't even listen to established music. But I know that it delayed the DVD release because of getting clearance for all the songs. And when Fox ran reruns of the show, they removed most of the music and just played the show on Fox. So they didn't have to pay for the licensing. And there's one song that got away, Only Love Can Break Your Heart by Neil Young. They couldn't get it cleared, couldn't pay for it, too expensive, and they had to replace it with a Dean Martin song because he's dead and he can't do anything about it. But yeah, that's
Dean
crazy.
Martin's a shit.
I was listening to an interview with Paul Reiser from Mad About You. You remember that show? Paul Reiser and Helen Hunt back in the day. Well, they're just getting ready to release like the Blu-ray of all the seasons, and he's doing some sort of like tour, and he was on Comedy Bang Bang and doing a little press tour, and he was talking about how they couldn't release it because they didn't get the rights to the music, and the rights to the music were like $200 million to get all the music because they played like iconic shit, and it was all like tied up and they couldn't release it. And they just recently passed a new law in California, which is where it matters the most because that's where a lot of the shit's made, that you can like, it's some sort of like umbrella law where there's money that's going towards it and everybody can like kind of share. They're rewriting the fair use laws to where you can get something that is copywritten and it won't cost you, $50,000 to play it. You'll just have to pay, a share or probably some sort of monthly premium like a Spotify thing, and then you get rights to it and you can play it. So it's something I gotta look into, but it's dope for us. It'll be important because we are constantly on the brink of being sued.
Not really. We don't play anything for profit, so it's
I'm exaggerating
in a fucking news sense, I guess. But I think I think it's bullshit. Honestly, I think it's fucking bullshit that you have to jump through so many hoops just to fucking play a piece of music that's already out there. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, these guys are getting money for it regardless. So if they should just do it like, the radio. If it gets played somewhere, every time it gets played, they should get a piece of whatever the monetization is on it. If somebody fucking monetizes a movie for streams or whatever, and the music plays in that movie, they should get a piece of the stream or whatever. I mean, like, that's really what it boils down to is that we're in a fucking world where we're still running off of ancient politics and techniques and shit that doesn't fucking work anymore. We're living in the future now, and we can't. None of those rules really like keep up with anything that's going on. We're moving at fucking the speed of light and sound, and these motherfuckers are going 65 miles an hour in their fucking 1960s Corvettes and shit. It's like, what the fuck are you doing, man?
Yeah, I agree, and I think that's why YouTube has changed recently.
Yeah.
Because, you can put up a video that has something else in it, at least audio-wise. I don't know about video. Like, you can't just upload a music video from someone, but you could, like, put up something that has audio in it, and it'll detect that audio, and then it'll give whoever owns that audio part of your monetization. If you have ads, then part of those plays will go to this person, and then part of the plays will go to you. And that's the best way to do it, because then they get their reimbursement. All the plays add up. If you have a song that's popular and number one and everybody loves it, especially if it was popular back in the day, and it's one of those songs that holds up, then every time that any little fucking guy makes a YouTube video and puts your song in the background and gets 1,000 views on it, that's another 1,000 fucking clicks on your song. So that shit adds up.
Be able to count it,
yeah. If you have 1 million people that are getting 1,000 views with your song in it, then you're paid.
See, and maybe that's the answer right there too. And that could be just part of it. That the fact that if there's a way to detect the shit, why doesn't it just count it instead of just detecting it? Why doesn't it do that also? Like, if you detect somebody's work in something, say a podcast, and the podcast plays a snippet of that song or plays a piece of that song because of whatever reason, who cares? The reason is insignificant. Say that it detects that, well, it should count that as a play towards that song also, and then that shit adds up into their monetization. So it's like, there's no loss for anybody. The real loss is in the the technology gap, you know what I'm saying? Because they're not fucking with the times yet, you know? If that, something that simple could honestly be the answer for everything, you know what I mean? Just count the fucking plays, add that into their shit, you know what I mean? It really just like, it really, everybody wins. There's no loss for anybody, you know what I'm saying? They get more plays. Their plays just keep going up and up and up and up and up on everything that they use. And then fucking people get to have their dramatic added effect by having that music in their programming or whatever they decided to use it for, and fucking yada, yada, yada. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody fucking wins. That's crazy.
Hell yeah. That's how it should be done. And I think that we're on the forefront of it. And shit's changing right now. So we just gotta see what happens. You know what I mean? That's all we can do.
Some crazy programmer nerd up there needs to create this, you know, make this shit happen. Make a fucking bot that detects copyright stuff, but also counts the plays.
Mm-hmm.
Make some type of connection, connect the fucking dots, and make it to where motherfuckers see a dollar value in it. That way, you know, it benefits everybody.
Yep.
Shit. And then this is brought to you by Ricky Bobby.
Brought by Ricky Bobby. Well, that was a good episode. It was all over the place.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So,
Freaks and Geeks, fucking everything.
Everybody out there,
everything.
go enjoy Freaks and Geeks. If it's still on Netflix, I think it is.
If it isn't, go stream that shit.
Yeah. Or go to .com.
Yeah.
I'm going to insert some sort of pirating website right there, but I don't want to say it. I'm going to have someone
Just
else
use
say
your
it.
imagination. They could figure it out all on their own.
Yeah, just go to .com today.
Yeah.
And we'll see you on Thursday.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, everybody.
With the real songs and the episodes.
Natural Habitat Recording.